Hi everyone, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us today, November 4th, Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific for our weekly live Q&A session to discuss U.S. immigration law. Taking your questions live on Instagram, JQK Law Firm, on TikTok, immigration lawyer John. In a moment, we're setting up to be live on YouTube, but also the recording, which is on YouTube, along with clips and a bunch of other material on the YouTube page for the JQK Law Firm. Click like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more updates and information about the U.S. immigration process. As you know, it changes almost every single hour. We have some updates on that right now. The elections just happened yesterday. Hello, Prashida. And we're going to get the results hopefully sooner rather than later. Who knows? But that's going to have a big effect. You don't know exactly what's going to happen, but even before that happens, there's a lot of other news I'm going to share with you. We'll get that started with that in just a second. All right, so as you're all tuning in and coming on live, please post your questions. We'll say what we can. Velma, nice to see you. We'll take your questions, discuss U.S. immigration law. We have one for she asks, is it possible to speed up an I-751? That's removal of conditions. Not really. You have to have a really good reason, but it's hard to do. One thing you can do if you can apply for citizenship based on marriage to a U.S. citizen for the last 3 years and living with them, you potentially apply for citizenship and have sometimes the citizenship interview happen sooner, faster, and because of that, they kind of are forced many times to do the interview and the process for the I-751 removal conditions faster. But as it is right now, where citizenship is taking for a while too, I'm not sure how well that's going to be able to help you to speed it up. But that's something I've seen to do. Unfortunately, the I-751 removal conditions is a total disaster right now. It's taking forever for it to be analyzed and processed, even though it's not even that big a thing. Hi, Fadia. And so that's something that, fortunately it sucks. I have the same situation. We're getting sometimes RFEs that don't make any sense. I just got an RFE on I-751 after waiting a year and a half, where they're asking for bank statements, even though we sent them like 30 months worth of bank statements from before they got their green card till now. So we're seeing that kind of a mess happening. We have a bunch of questions on TikTok that popped up. Jimmy Khan, hello brother from Dallas, Texas. Hope you and your family are doing well. Thank you so much, Jimmy. I appreciate that. We're doing okay. Everything's pretty good. Azim says, okay, so Friday my father had a green card interview and we missed. Called Monday, they said send new DA. Send new date. I'm not sure. Why did your father miss it? If you miss your green card with USCIS, that's very serious and it could lead to a denial. With COVID, they become flexible, so you could argue that it was COVID related if it was, obviously. Yeah, that's pretty serious. Needs ask, hello, I filed for application for adjustment of status based on a previous approved I-360. Okay, what's your question? BJ asks, fingerprints down 2 months back, but no status update for I-485. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Don't expect anything to happen anytime soon. Nizar says, last thing they asked for my original birth certificate, and that was last February. Yeah, things take time. So I don't know your individual case to see what kind of problems you have that give advice on, but a lot of these things, almost all the questions asked here, it just takes time. These things are very slow. Azim date, Turkey, my country. I'm not sure what you mean. Thanks for answering. You're welcome, BJ. Yeah, so just talked with Immigration Momita. Thank you for popping on. Good to see you. Niz says, how long shall I expect before I hear back? There is no deadline that you can expect. Just keep an eye on the case, but there's nothing to expect. Saab says, how long does it take to receive a green card after interview? That varies. It just depends on the case. Some people get it a few days later, some people many months later, some people get denied, or get an RFE. So there's no answer to that question. Immigration Queen asks, it just takes time, truly. I tell my clients all day, thanks to immigration. Yeah, it's getting worse and worse. There's more and more time. But that's it, Immigration Queen. Thanks for popping in. We have a question on YouTube. Mohammed asks, what to expect after the InfoPass appointment? I'm not sure what you mean. An InfoPass appointment is an appointment to come and just show up there and do a certain thing. I don't know what you're doing at the InfoPass appointment, so I don't know what to tell you what to expect from there. It really depends on what you did there, what the reason for the InfoPass appointment was. The question is just missing a lot of parts to it for me to be able to answer it. Laura says, I applied to become a U.S. citizen 6 months ago. They haven't called me for fingerprints. Yeah, because COVID-19 happened. They can't have a ton of people going into the biometrics office at once, so they slowed it down so that one person at a time is coming, and the consequence of that is, delayed biometrics appointment. So you just have to be patient and wait for it to come. Immigration Queen says, you're a great attorney. I'm really proud of you, us, and our clients. Thank you, Immigration Queen. Thanks so much. I've been catching your work too. If y'all haven't, Immigration Queen is a great channel on TikTok, immigration_queen. Definitely, follow her, as well as Immigration on Momita. Have really great fun material. They post a lot of more daily material than I do, more live stuff at least. I have like recorded stuff, but I definitely recommend listening to them and tuning into them. Alex says, I'm trying to sponsor my parents. What do I need to do? Well, that's a big thing. You need to contact a lawyer. There's a lot of videos on this. I have tons of videos on this on my YouTube page. But you need to start the petition process. But I need to know more information about your parents and your background, your finances, their health. There's a lot of things. See their documents, birth certificates, marriage certificates. You should talk with a lawyer. If you want to schedule a consultation in my office, just email me at info@jqqlaw.com. That's info@jqqlaw.com. I have a guide. It's called the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. If you go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com, you can download it. Almost all the stuff inside that apply, except for the fiancé visa or the documentation needed to establish a marriage, are very similar to the case when you're applying for your parents. So if you want to get some ideas of what the situation is, go check that out. That'll talk about adjustment of status, consular processing, and give you some idea. We have a question, who do you think is going to win the elections? I have no idea. I don't even get into that. We have a bunch of questions on YouTube. So let's start from the top. Ami says, when will the F4 dates for India move? I don't know. Contact the government and ask them. They don't give us that information. And they won't give it to you either. It's just, you have to be patient. Let's see. Eagle says, hello, John. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you as well. I'm a business owner overseas. After I file the citizenship marriage green card, can I keep working under my own business? That's individual legal advice. I need to know more. I don't want to answer that in a public setting. I need to know more information about your business is and what kind of green card it is, all this kind of stuff. So I would say consult with me in private. It's not something I could talk about here. Daniela says, I'm sending my I-485 with the I-6465, I-31. Do I have to pay for a fee for each individual one? Right now, there's no additional fee for the I-765, I-131. There's a court case that shut that down for now, and maybe in the future, but you're also missing one application, which is I-944. Go check out my ebook, the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide, and it'll discuss this kind of stuff. You don't want to miss something where your case can get rejected if you don't submit the I-944. So you're already not doing too good right there. But schedule a time. It's better to go with the attorney, but at the very least, do some more research to make sure you don't miss out on some important stuff. Nick asked, if you're a gig worker and make 125% above the poverty line, but after deduction it's below 125%, can you still sponsor your spouse? I don't know. I have to see exactly how your documentation, how your taxes look, how your income statements look to be able to answer that question. If you're not sure, try finding a joint sponsor. It's a better way to do it. Or try to shore up your assets some way. Noor says, can you submit personal photos of me and my spouse on different occasions and trips as evidence with my N400? I'm not sure why you want to submit photos with your N400. I think you're trying to show that you're a couple living together, but that's so you get the 3-year instead of the 5-year citizenship. But that's not the way to do it. Use your taxes, your joint taxes, and your lease agreements and other financial documents of really much where you living together, and filing tax together. It's a better way to do it. Noor says, could you submit, I just answered that. Lawrence asked, what do you predict for December visa bulletin, especially if you want date of filing? I'm not into lying to people, so if I do a prediction, it's going to be 100% lying. No one can predict that kind of stuff. The government doesn't even know. So it's not a question to ask. Just wait and see. Gokhan says, I applied for N100, didn't know 180 days. I'm not sure what that means. Rephrase your question. Daniel asked, did the I-944 have been set aside? No, the form I-944, good question. I forgot to get about it at the beginning of the show. So on Monday, November 2nd, a judge in Illinois said, federal district judge in Illinois said, we're going to put an injunction nationally on the form I-944. It's a great Monday thing to wake up to see. But then today, Wednesday, November 4th, an appeals court in 7th Circuit, a higher judge circuit court, said no, to hold off on that injunction. So it's back to having to file form I-944, declaration of self-sufficiency as part of the public charge set up that President Trump put in. Now, is that going to change if a new president comes? Who knows? But that's the situation right now. Lola says, hi, love your YouTube. Thank you, Lola. Appreciate that. Thanks so much. Oscar says, does every immigrant has alien registration number, even undocumented? No. An alien registration number, A number, is issued to specific individuals who are going through an immigrant visa process, and some who are not. but you have to be working with the government some sort of way for them to issue that. For example, if you have a deportation hearing, you'll be issued an alien number. If you have a green card case pending, they'll be issued one. But if you're just here without permission, undocumented, no, you don't get an A number. Raul says, how long does it take for a decision after I-730 petition interview? There's no deadlines or how long. There's none of that, just how long it takes. Lola asks, yes, I'm asking if my Kims, who's 81 in Sweden or 2 years, U.S. green card, but filed for permit. Oh, your question is not clear, and it's too much of an individual personal question. I can't answer individual questions here. This is just general information for general guidance, not for individual case. Rosha says, does Trump or Biden election result will reflect EB1 coming? No, that's yes and no. I mean, it's just, so because Trump has these travel bans, there's less visa numbers being used in the family side, so some of them get transferred to the employment side, but for in December or something like that, what you're looking for, that's not going to be reflected that quickly. There's just a lot going on, so maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but don't plan on anything based on these what ifs. Daryl says, is it a good idea to apply to invite my mother to the birth of my child even without having a green card? I'm not sure what you mean exactly. If your mom wants to visit, you're not inviting her. She goes and asks for a tourist visa to come and visit. So there's no invitations going on there. She applies to come here to see you, but without having a green card, I'm not sure what you mean by that comment. AK says, when I checked my USCIS account, it said my case is current as of today and gives me the exact date and time. Today's spouse of U.S. citizen, what it means. I don't have to see exactly what your account says, but you just need to wait for them to schedule a consultation for you. Gabby says, is it normal to receive one receipt number for I-485 but not for the other forms when filed concurrently? Yeah, that's not normal. So when you submit your form I-485 for adjustment of status, with that, you're going to probably have be filing an application for employment authorization and also advanced parole. Each of those should get their own receipts. Now sometimes governments, messes up, sends one a few days later or something like that, but if they all didn't get receipts, those have not been processed. So that's the issue to be wary of. Okay. Someone says some crazy stuff. We'll hide that. Thanks, YouTube, for flagging that. Oscar says, can a DACA recipient become a police officer? Being a police officer is up to the regulations of the city, county, and state that you're in. It's not an immigration question. You have to see what the situation is. Probably not, I would assume, because you don't have proper status for that, but it's up to the police department's local rules of what they require. Let's go back to TikTok. Alex asks, I'm trying to sponsor my parents. What do I need to do? I told you about that one. Sap asks, we sent adjustment of status to National Benefit Center, NBC. How to know which is our processing center receive receipt notice? On a receipt notice, the bottom left, it'll say which one it is. It probably is adjustment status, probably not National Benefit Center itself, but it's a Nebraska Service Center or something. But check out on the bottom left, and you'll see it. Okay, let's see. We're getting a lot of crazy stuff. Nick says, are you aware if they do same-day name change in Los Angeles these days while applying for naturalization? Thank you. So, I asked them that and they said they do, but I don't know how that's possible, because what happens is when you file for citizenship, you have the ability to request that your name gets changed. The thing is, once your case for citizenship is approved, you do an oath ceremony, and for the name change, a judge has to be there to change your name. So in some field offices, some immigration offices, where they do your interview and they approve it, and then they'll do the oath ceremony, they don't have judges come by. They don't have that relationship with the court to do that. For example, in San Francisco, they don't have judges come and do that. But in Los Angeles, they have judges come to oath ceremonies. So typically in Los Angeles, you can change your name at the time of applying for citizenship, but in a place like San Francisco, you can't. However, because of COVID-19, they made a system where instead of having judges swear people in, they gave permission for USCIS officers to give the oath ceremony to get things done faster. But do they still have the authority to change their name or not? I don't think they do, because they're not judges. One officer told me, yeah, they give us authority to do it. But I haven't seen it. None of my citizenship cases recently wanted their name changed, so we didn't have to deal with that. But one officer told me yes, but I'm hesitant to believe that. So I would be cautious to say no, but it's not 100%. AKA says, can I be the sponsor of my spouse even though in the past 2 years I have not been making enough money because I've been going to school, but this year I made enough money. Yeah, you know, this is a issue. Like, I had cases regularly where people are going to school and they graduate, then they apply for their spouse to get their green card, and although they didn't make any money 2 years previously, they make money now enough, and it's been fine. Now, I've had other lawyers, 2 other lawyers in particular, say, no, we've had cases denied for that. I've done dozens of these like this, because a lot of my clients are, you know, graduate students, college students who get married and stuff, so it's a typical scenario. I've never had problems with it. I was shocked when my colleagues said that, but, you know, it is what it is. You just gotta give it a chance, just have good documentation that you have the income and it's continuing. Ratchet says, hi, sure how you are nice, see you online. My name is Ratchet, hope Biden wins soon. He just needs Nevada. Oh, thank you so much. AKA love you too. Thank you so much for tuning in all the questions. Adam Law holding green card for the last 2 years, no answer. Adam Law holding green card. I'm not sure what you're saying, BJ. You have to rephrase your question. Tanvir asks, hey, is Trump green card ban going to go away if he loses the election? There's different green card bans. If the next president decides to take those away, yeah. Lord Smith says, thanks, they're awesome. I'm a paralegal. I'd love to work for you. Thanks, Lords. I don't have staff in that sense. I do everything myself, but, you know, stay in touch. You know, follow me on LinkedIn, the JK Law Firm. I'm making a newsletter special for paralegals to update them on information. Email me so I can add you there. And once I have, you know, enough paralegals added up on there, I'm going to start sending information to help you guys out in your education process. So check it out. Grismore says, my husband got a notice of intent to deny for entering U.S. With a visa in 1999 and overstayed a year. Then he came back 2005 with the same visa, was allowed back in. So that's not good that your husband is subject to the 10-year ban and they didn't finish it. So consult with the attorney in private. You shouldn't have filed that case. Fig says, if you block me, I'll keep using spam accounts. Okay, we have people saying crazy stuff on YouTube. Let's see. Sadie says, I don't have an attorney in my green card interview on Thursday. What should I do? You should have planned for that beforehand. I don't know what to tell you. Let's see. Sap says, I have a question right here on Instagram class. Is DACA legal status? No, DACA is not legal status. It's just a decision by the president to not enforce the laws against the group of people who have DACA, but it's not technically status. Okay. Sap says, I sent adjustment of status to NBC. We already answered that. You should look at your receipt notice, and on the bottom left, it'll say what's going on, which office it is there. Deep says, hey, can I stay in California even if I'm illegal? I don't know. It's not really a way to answer that. If they come after you, they come after to pick you up. That's about it. It's not up to me. BJ follows up, AWL law holding green card, no answer. It's over 2 years. I'm not sure again what you mean AWL. Don't use acronyms. Try to be a little more better at explaining it. D asks, which is the best state to live in if you're illegal? I don't know. I don't track that kind of stuff. Deep says, and don't say Alabama because I know you're lying. Okay. Santa says, unemployment benefits affect green card holder and applying citizenship? Normally not, but I have to see exactly what benefits you got and what you said. But normally unemployment benefits are not, it's money you paid into an insurance fund that you're getting back. Deke says, how do I get my questions asked? Just type in your question. Sap says, sent adjustment of status to NBC, how to check processing times based on processing center, as NBC is not on the list, check. Again, look at the bottom left of your receipt notice. It'll have something. I have to see what's going on in your case to see that. But processing times doesn't matter because they're all fake, so don't worry yourself about that. Just be patient. Savio says, I am only U1, the visa status in America. My visa is expiring next year. Can I renew work permit? I don't know. I have to check your case. That's too much of an individual question. Sapphire, answer that question. Please stop asking over again. Adam says, my mom is going to be 15 days over a stay on 6 months. She is a green card holder. Would it be a problem? I need to discuss that privately with you. Probably not, but it depends on the totality of the case and who you're dealing with at the airport when you come back. And he says, how long should I expect to wait? There's no expectations of how long to wait. Okay, we've got a lot of repeat questions. Immigration Queen, I didn't know that about the name change with the USCIS opportunity. Interesting. Yeah, some officers said, no, I don't think they know what they're talking about though, because you have to be a judge to change the name if you're applying for citizenship. And so they're like, no, we got, the judge gave us authority to do it, but I don't trust that. So it's been so busy to try to follow up with them about the situation. And all my clients hadn't wanted name changes, so it didn't really pop up. But I tell clients to be prepared for it not to happen. Okay, we got a bunch of questions on YouTube. Would he qualify for a pardon? Grismer, talk with immigration in private. It's too big a conversation to have here. It's too private. Gabby asks, how bad is it if applying for a green card but currently not residing with USC spouse in the same state? It depends on the whole situation with regards to your life, so we have to see what's going on. Mathur says, how are you? What's the situation with the public charge after Illinois' injunction orders? Well, the Illinois injunction order was overturned so same, you have to file I-944. Nadan says, can an immigrant apply for admission to the U.S. Port of Entry if they don't have a visa or a passport? Can an immigrant? I need no more information. That's too hypothetical. Okay, we have a lot of questions just popping up left and right. Okay, let's see. M-Lore, you always try to come live on the show, and I always say, no, we don't do it, so I don't take any live stuff. Tamir says, if someone's immigrant visa expired before entering the United States due to COVID, what are the chances he'll be granted a new immigrant visa? They probably will be. You just have to contact the embassy that issued it and try to get a new one. Vivek says, how long is the wait for National Visa Center to consulate office for the interview? There is no how long. It's just whenever they get around to it. Sam says, I've been waiting for the embassy to schedule an interview, and it's been 6 months, but nothing has happened. Embassies haven't closed or they've shut down dramatically, so you just have to wait. Nick says, one last question, please. I have been to biometrics recently and applying for my citizenship in a couple months. Will I be called for a biometrics appointment again? Because you recently got it. So right now, if they have the fingerprints in the system, a lot of times they'll come back and say you don't need to do it again. But I have cases where they do the fingerprints and the USCIS mistakenly resends biometrics appointment notices for them to do it again. So who knows? What difference? Just if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Don't worry yourself about things that you have no control over. It doesn't matter. Paranoid says, what happens to green card holders who become incapacitated? I'm not sure how that's related or how that would affect things. Daryl says, if I don't have an online account with USCIS, can I still find out how far along the case is? Listen, the online accounts, it's all BS. USCIS online systems don't make any sense. You get receipt notices in the mail, go to USCIS.gov and type in your case number. Half the time the information they give will be incorrect. So don't worry about following stuff. None of it makes any sense. So just wait for notices in the mail. Check every once in a while, but don't worry yourself about this kind of stuff. Rahid says, Ratchet Alun says, my wife received a letter from the consulate in which she just does not forget any paper when you go to interview. It just does not contain an appointment. I don't know what you're talking about, Ratchet, so just consult with me in private. Your sense doesn't fully make sense to me. It might be wrong on my end, but I don't know. Paranoid says, family member was an accident and vegetative. Again, I don't know why being incapacitated affects a green card in any way. Adam says, my mom is going to be, okay, we already answered that question. Sap says, what is medical courtesy examination? You have to do a medical checkup for USCIS or getting a green card. Mishu says, how long have fiancé visa decisions been taken during? It varies. The how long questions I really can't answer. Nizar says, did you see my question? I answered a bunch of your questions earlier. I'm not sure if I missed any. Okay. Raj says, could the delayed case be processed after election? Maybe, maybe not. Mathur says, how can I schedule a consultation with you? Well, you email my office, info@jqqlaw.com, and describe the immigration issue that you have so I know what's going on, if it's the type of case I handle, and then we can take it from there. Gomez asks, my husband's petitioned for me 7 years now. Is it normal for a case to take that long? No. A spousal case is not supposed to take 7 years. There's serious issues. You should have contacted a lawyer 6 years ago. Garcia says, so I was approved for advanced parole. My new AD combo card says I-512. Am I okay to travel? Garcia, I can't advise you individually as to if you're okay to travel because I don't know anything about you. And so I need to know more information. If schedule a consultation, we could talk about it. Sap says, what are the requirements for medical? I mean, that's a whole other thing. Immigration Queen, probably Adam Walsh Act, yeah. D. Conley says, does having a valid work authorization mean you are no more undocumented or illegal? No, it means you can still be undocumented. Illegal is not a proper term to go about this, but just work authorization is work authorization, that's it. Iran Juan says, is it possible to somehow planning for naturalization with you for next year? I need to know how many days I have left for my trips. Yeah, you can schedule consultations paid, and we could go over and discuss the dates if you like. Just email my office, remind me what the situation is, and I can let you know how much the cost for the consultation is. Rockstar says, I get a green card based on U visa. Now my wife will have found November, still no results. I don't know what to tell you. Talk with the lawyer in private. Nizar says, after approved, Nizar, I didn't answer your question. I don't answer questions about timelines. Immigration Queen says that's what the guy was asking about, Adam Walshak, I think. Oh, Adam Walshak, AWO, you're right. I don't really deal with Adam Walshak too often. I won't even accept the case if someone has those kind of issues, but you should consult her in private. It's pretty serious having Adam Walshak situation. Let's see. Damn, a lot of questions today, non-stop. It's good, but I don't want to go too fast and miss stuff. Tanvir says, when will the U.S. Embassy fully start? I don't know. It's not up to me. Paranoid says, if I still get a green card, then fall vegetative state, have to renew without effect. No, getting incapacitated, getting sick and stuff has no effect on renew a green card. Now, if you're getting money from the government or something like that and you're lying about your income on it or something, that could be a problem for citizenship, potential fraud. But just being incapacitated, going to vegetative state, that has nothing to do with by itself with regards to your green card. Grizzomar says, my brother started a green card with I-245 and never finished because he got divorced and his 21-year-old helped him get a green card. He came illegally 20 years ago, signed a U.S. citizen. I don't know, Grizzomar. I got to see the case. Have him schedule a consultation. Gabriel says, online status for I-485 shows fingerprint-free received. They can't find, I don't know, Gabriel. I don't know what to tell you about. They not be able to find all the documents, all the receipts. Schedule a private consultation. AO says, how long will medical exam valid? When is it better to start? Do it. I submitted my just AOS without it. So if you submit a green card application without a medical exam, I usually wait till you get the notice from USCIS to go get the medical exam to get it. But it depends on your personal health. So if you have some personal health issues that need to be dealt with, you want to do it sooner. So if you need a waiver or something, it's needed. So that's why I need to know more information about your background to be able to tell you what to do. I can't, without knowing anything about you, which is the situation here, I can't give you that specific advice. But generally, I have my clients get the medical for adjustment of status at the time USCIS notifies them about that situation. Or if they have some sort of medical issues or psychological issues, I have them do it beforehand so we could deal with it before submitting the case. Samar asks, how's the I-944 been suspended? Has the I-944? We talked about that a couple times. No, it's back, so you have to file it. ND says, can only green card holders and U.S. citizens join the military? Right now, that's the case. Rosemary says, good night to you. My daughter is 21, waiting on interview date from April. Didn't know how long that takes. No, I have no idea. No one knows. Shai says, I received an I-601. What is the next process with USCIS? What does it mean? You got a 601 approval? So it depends on what your reason for the inadmissibility was, what you did, and the rest of your case. So I don't know. Rockstar says, she get an interview? I don't know. User says, I-485 pending, should, and you don't finish your sentence. I love your question. I love you says, my wife is a sponsor and I got joint sponsor my case and my wife is currently unemployed. I'm not sure what the question is. Can your wife be unemployed? Maybe. My I-485 is pending. I completed I-693. That's a medical. Should I ship to USCIS or wait for interview? If you did the medical exam form I-693 after submitting the form I-485, you need to wait for USCIS to request it. So they may send you a letter asking them to mail it to them, or you'll have an interview where you bring it to the interview with you. SAP says, what is a medical courtesy examination? What are the requirements? I discussed that earlier. DCAW says, does having a valid work authorization? We answered that already. Zia says, how long I-130 petition take? I don't go into questions about timelines. Abdullah says, what is the average time? I don't know timelines. Donia says, what is your ebook website? It's www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. You could download it there. Make sure to type in the www portion. For some reason, if you don't, it doesn't go to the website. But type in www.marriageimmigrationlaw, and you can download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide that breaks down the process and all that. I'm going to be updating the book in a month or so, a couple weeks or so. There's a chart I have on the first page that breaks down how things work. And I was reading it again. I realized it's not the best written chart, the wording, so I'm going to make it better. Now on YouTube Live, the computer is running out of battery, so I'm going to get these kind of quick. We're running out of showtime anyway, so we'll be here. But Tanvir says, do you do a good service to people? Just wanted to let you know I appreciate it. Thank you, Tanvir. It's very nice of you. Thank you. Follows them as biometrics done since 29th of January for I-751. How long to wait for decision? There is no deadline for that decision. Let's see. User 90 says, how long should I wait for interview? I don't know. Actually, I answered that one already. Sonia says, I did apply for removal of conditions. I just got a letter for 1.5 year extended without biometric. And that's it. Donia says, do you know when the embassy will open on Turkey? No, they have no information. For security reasons, they've shut down extra. Bitania says, is there any way to get my mom's papers without her going back to her country if she came here illegally? There are exceptions, but I don't know if the exceptions apply to her, so we have to see. Cheyenne says, I got a 6-1 notice from USCIS. What's the next step? I don't know. I'll just consult with you in private to see what's going on there. I-485 is pending. I completed medical. Should I post? We already answered that question. Zia says, how long does it take for interview? How long does it take for case to go? I don't have answers to timeline questions. Sunil says, can I apply for citizenship if I applied for removal of conditions in April this year if I didn't get my tenure? If you satisfy the 3-year citizenship stuff, then yeah, you can file for citizenship while you have Form I-751 removal of conditions still pending. I love you says about joint sponsor. You can't, the questions, you have to put them all in one place or I lose track. User 69 says, I applied for naturalization and it's more than 1 year online. It says wait. Yeah, you gotta wait. Prey says, can I add my partner in my green card process? Maybe. I need to know more information about your case and your partner. Im says, can green card holder file I-131 while being outside the U.S. due to COVID? So green card holder, if you mean a re-entry permit from I-131, no. For a re-entry permit, you have to physically be inside the United States. Very rarely will they grant exception to that. It's in the regulations that you have to be in the United States to apply for a re-entry permit. Ratchet says, sorry, my English not good. We finished the process for marriage. Got a message. Have just when you go to interview, don't forget to bring all the paperwork with you, but don't have date or time for interview. Well, the appointment notice has a date or time on it there. If it's not there, try contacting or calling USCIS to see why that is. Juan says, is there a standard amount of money to own or asset on bank accounts to comply with the public charge rule? Not for public charge rule from I-944. It's a totality of the circumstances analysis. But for I-864, there is. Abdul Rashad says, will the USCIS need me after they approve my case because I have traveled outside the U.S. to see my spouse? I don't know, Abdul Rashad. I got to see what's going on with your case. If it's just the I-130, no. Abdul Rashad, is the U.S. still broke? They still need one. Yeah, the U.S. is still broke. Hello, Sandini. Princess says, good evening, sir. I got married a month ago to U.S. citizen. What is the next step? Take, please. Okay, Princess. You should go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com and download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. It'll break down the process for you and then schedule a consultation in my office. We go into more detail. It's info@jqqlaw is my website and my email. But the website is www, make sure to type the www in there, www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com and take care of it there. And download that ebook. Imka says, thanks sir, great work for community. Thank you, appreciate that. Donia says, my partner has a K1 visa on Ankara, but they would not give the K visa. Do you know for how long? No, I don't know. I have cases, K1 visas on Ankara still pending too. They're just not doing interviews. They've pretty much shut down the embassy and consulate in Turkey, not only for COVID, but also because of the security situation. There were threats against personnel there, so they got afraid. Amelia says, what U.S. visas are available to Iranians? That's too grand a question to ask, Amelia. What I need to know is who is the person that needs something, look at their background and see if anything attaches to them. To go over every visa category doesn't make sense right now. All right, so Zabi says, do you know when the embassy will schedule an interview in Afghanistan? No, the embassy will schedule based on what the embassy says, so it's really depending on the availability of the embassy. And with that, I want to thank everybody. Went non-stop questions, but it was good. Definitely tune in next week. We're going to go talk about this stuff some more. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, and follow on YouTube, the JQK Immigration Law Firm. Just type in JQK Law on what's called YouTube, and the page will come. You'll get a lot of clips, videos, up-to-date information, breaking news, images. I have my approval notices. I have timelines on there because everyone keeps asking about timelines. I'll give you some examples, but they're not consistent. And so everything here is general information, not educational information, not intended for individual guidance. But my email is info@jqqlaw.com. To schedule a time, just email me and describe what your case situation is, and I'll respond with some more information about if we can have a consultation and what comes next from there. Until next one, God bless, be safe, talk soon. Bye-bye.